Hey there, English learners! Welcome to English in Flow, the podcast that helps you master English while growing into your best self. I'm Emily, your host for today, and I'm so excited to dive into a topic that I know so many of us struggle with: overthinking. If you've ever found yourself stuck in a loop of worry, unable to stop thinking about the same thing, this episode is for you. I've got a fantastic guest with me to share some life-changing tips. Say hello, Michael.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michael, and I'm thrilled to be here with Emily. Overthinking used to take over my life. I'd worry about every little thing, especially when I started learning English. But I've learned some tricks to break free, and I can't wait to share them with you. Let's get started.
I love your enthusiasm, Michael. Today we're exploring what overthinking really is, why we do it, and how it can hold us back. Not just in life, but in learning English too. We'll share practical tips to calm your busy mind, a fun challenge to practice your English, and some new vocabulary to help you talk about your thoughts. Plus, there's a free PDF with all our tips in the description. So grab a cozy spot and let's stop overthinking together. Ready, Michael?
I'm ready, Emily. Let's help our listeners quiet their minds and focus on what matters, while boosting their English skills along the way. Where should we start?
Let's start with the basics. What exactly is overthinking? I think a lot of us do it, but we might not even realize what it means.
Great question. Overthinking is when you think too much about something, whether it's a situation, a problem, or a decision. It's like your mind gets stuck, replaying the same thoughts over and over, often imagining the worst possible outcomes. For example, you might worry, what if I say the wrong thing in English? And keep thinking about it for hours, even though it's not a big deal.
That's such a clear way to explain it. I've definitely experienced that. Like, when I'm about to speak English with someone new, I'll think, what if I forget a word? What if they don't understand me? And I'll keep worrying about it, even though nothing bad has happened yet. Why do you think we overthink so much?
There are a few reasons. One big trigger is stress. When we're feeling overwhelmed, our minds start racing. A study from the University of California found that stress can increase overthinking by 30% because we feel pressured to solve everything at once. Another reason is uncertainty. When we don't know what will happen, like waiting for an exam result, our brains try to fill in the gaps by imagining every possible scenario.
I can relate to that. Uncertainty really gets me. Like when I don't know if I'll understand a conversation in English, I start imagining all the ways I might mess up. Another thing I've noticed is that I overthink more when I'm not confident. Like, if I doubt myself, I'll keep questioning every little thing I do. Do you think self-doubt plays a role?
Absolutely. Low self-esteem or self-doubt is a huge trigger for overthinking. If you don't believe in yourself, like thinking, I'm not good at English, you might overthink every mistake, worrying that it means you'll never improve. It's like a cycle. The more you doubt, the more you overthink, and the more you doubt again.
That cycle sounds exhausting. I've been there. When I first started learning English, I'd overthink every sentence, thinking, did I say that right? Does it sound weird? It made me so nervous to speak. How can we recognize when we're overthinking? What are the signs?
One clear sign is having a constant stream of thoughts that won't stop, like a song stuck in your head, but it's worry instead. For example, you might keep thinking, what if I fail this test? Even when you try to focus on something else. Another sign is feeling anxious about things you can't control, like worrying about what someone thinks of you. Overthinking can also show up physically, like headaches, tight shoulders, or trouble sleeping.
Those physical signs are so real. I've noticed that when I overthink, I can't sleep. I'll lie in bed replaying a conversation I had, wondering if I said something wrong. It's like my brain just won't turn off. Why is overthinking so harmful, especially for English learners?
Overthinking can be harmful because it creates stress and anxiety, which can stop you from taking action. For English learners, it can hold you back from speaking or practicing. Like, if you overthink every word, you might avoid speaking altogether. A study from the Journal of Anxiety Disorders found that overthinking increases stress by 25%. And over time, that stress can lead to bigger problems like feeling sad or unmotivated.
That makes so much sense. I used to avoid speaking English because I'd overthink every sentence. I was so worried about making mistakes that I'd just stay quiet. It made me feel stuck, like I'd never improve. Let's talk about how we can stop overthinking. What's a good first step?
One powerful way is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness means focusing on the present moment and letting your thoughts come and go without holding on to them. For example, if you're overthinking a mistake you made in English, you can pause, take a deep breath, and focus on what's around you, like the sound of birds or the feeling of your breath. A study from the University of Oxford showed that mindfulness can reduce overthinking by 20% by helping you stay in the moment.
I love that. I've tried mindfulness before. When I'm stressed about English, I'll close my eyes and listen to the sounds around me, like rain or my cat purring. It helps me calm down and stop worrying. What's another way to break the overthinking cycle?
Another great strategy is to write your thoughts down. Putting your worries on paper can make them feel less overwhelming. It's like taking them out of your head and giving them a place to rest. For example, if you're overthinking about an English presentation, write down, "I'm worried I'll forget my words." Seeing it on paper can help you realize it's not as big as it feels in your mind.
That's such a smart idea. I've done that. Last week, I was overthinking about a job interview in English. So I wrote down all my worries, like, what if I don't understand the question? After writing, I felt lighter, and I could focus on preparing instead of worrying. What's another tip?
Try setting a time limit for overthinking. Give yourself 10 minutes about a problem. Like, did I sound rude in that conversation? But after that, tell yourself, I'm done for now. Then, do something to distract your mind, like listening to music or going for a walk. It's a way to stop your thoughts from spinning endlessly.
That's a brilliant tip. I'm definitely trying that. I tend to overthink for hours, and a time limit sounds like a lifesaver. Let's share a new idea, something we haven't talked about before. What's a creative way to stop overthinking?
Here's one I love. Doodle your worries away. Grab a piece of paper and draw whatever comes to mind, like scribbling a messy cloud for your thoughts or a smiling sun to remind you of happier things. It's a fun way to shift your focus and calm your mind. I started doing this when I'd overthink about work. I'd draw little flowers, and it always made me feel better.
That's so creative. I'm going to try doodling next time I'm stuck in my thoughts. Maybe I'll draw a little cat to cheer me up. Another idea I found helpful is to talk to a friend. Sometimes sharing what's on your mind, like, I'm worried about my English test, can help you see it's not as big as you think. Plus, they might have great advice. Want to add one more?
Sure. Try the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding trick. When you're overthinking, look around and name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. It pulls you back to the present and stops the worry loop. I use it when I'm nervous before speaking English. It really helps me focus.
That's such a practical trick. I can't wait to try it. Maybe I'll do it before my next English conversation to calm my nerves. Speaking of English, how does overthinking affect English learners specifically? And how can stopping it help?
Overthinking can really slow down English learning because it makes you afraid to take risks. If you overthink every word, like, is this grammar correct? You might not speak at all, which means you miss out on practice. Stopping overthinking helps you feel more confident to try, even if you make mistakes. For example, instead of worrying, "What if I say this wrong?" you can think, "I'll just try and I'll learn from it."
That's so true. I used to overthink so much that I'd avoid speaking English with others. I'd think, what if they laugh at me? But once I stopped worrying and just started talking, I improved so much faster. It's like overthinking was a wall, and breaking it down let me grow. What's another way it helps?
It helps you enjoy the process more. When you're not overthinking, you can have fun learning English, like laughing at your mistakes instead of stressing about them. A study from the University of Cambridge found that people who approach learning with a relaxed mindset improve 15% faster than those who are anxious. So, stopping overthinking makes learning English easier and more enjoyable.
That's so motivating. I've noticed that when I'm relaxed, I learn better. Like when I watch English cartoons and just enjoy them without worrying about understanding every word. Let's do a vocabulary spotlight to help our listeners talk about overthinking in English. Want to start?
Let's do it. Here are 5 words they can use. First up, overthink. It means to think too much about something, causing worry. For example, I overthink before speaking English. It's perfect for describing this topic. What's the second word?
Next is worry. It means to feel nervous or anxious about something, like I worry about making mistakes. It's a common feeling when overthinking. What's the third word?
The third word is mindfulness. It means being fully present and aware, like mindfulness helps me stop overthinking. It's great for talking about solutions. What's your next word?
I'll go with relief. It means a feeling of comfort after worry, like writing my thoughts down gave me relief. It's useful for describing how you feel after calming your mind. What's our last word?
Let's end with focus. It means to pay attention to one thing, like I focus on my breathing to relax. It's key for managing overthinking. Listeners, try using these words, like I overthink when I worry. It's a great way to practice speaking.
I love that. Let's give them a challenge to use these words and practice their English. What do you have in mind?
Here's the challenge. This week, try one of our tips to stop overthinking, like mindfulness or doodling, and write down how it made you feel, using at least 2 of our spotlight words. For example, mindfulness gave me relief from worry. Then, share your sentence in the comments below. It's a fun way to practice English and calm your mind. What do you think?
Perfect. I'd add, don't stress if your sentence is simple. Just try, like I overthink, but I focus on the present. Listeners, we can't wait to read your sentences in the comments. Okay, let's share one more tip to stop overthinking. Something new and creative. What's your idea?
I'd say create a calm corner in your space. Find a quiet spot, like a chair by a window, where you can go when you're overthinking. Add things that relax you, like a soft blanket, a scented candle, or a notebook to doodle in. When I'm stressed about English, I sit in my calm corner with a cup of tea, and it helps me reset.
That's such a cozy idea. I'm setting up my calm corner tonight. Maybe I'll add some fairy lights for extra calm vibes. My tip is to make a worry jar. Write down your overthinking thoughts on small pieces of paper, like, I'm worried about my English test, and put them in a jar. Tell yourself, I'll deal with this later. It's a way to park your worries and free your mind.
I love that worry jar idea. It's like giving your thoughts a little vacation. Let's do a quick recap of everything we've covered today.
Sounds good. We explored what overthinking is. It's thinking too much and getting stuck in worry. We talked about why we do it, stress, uncertainty, and self-doubt, and how it can hold us back, especially in learning English. We shared tips like practicing mindfulness, writing thoughts down, setting time limits, doodling, and grounding with the 5-4-3-2-1 trick.
Nailed it! We also had our vocabulary spotlight with overthink, worry, mindfulness, relief, and focus, plus a challenge to write a sentence about stopping overthinking. The big takeaway? You can calm your busy mind with simple steps, and that'll help you learn English faster and live more peacefully. Listeners, what's one tip you'll try this week? Share it in the comments.
I bet they'll love the worry jar. Oh, and don't forget, we've got a free PDF with all our spotlight words, tips, and exercises to help you stop overthinking. Grab it from the link in the description. It's a total game changer.
Great plug! While you're there, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any English in Flow episodes. We're here to help you flow through English with ease. Any final words for our amazing listeners?
Just this. Your thoughts don't have to control you. You can control them. Start small, be gentle with yourself, and watch how your English and your peace grows. Thanks for joining us today.
Couldn't agree more. All right, everyone, that's it for this episode. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and we'll catch you in the next one. See you soon.
Take care and keep flowing with English.